We gotta protect our queen, Christina. Right? This one is special right here, Fish. You haven't seen her play in person yet, right?
Not yet, not yet, but I want to. I can't wait.
I know her through a mutual friend, Tyrell Grant, who's one of my good friends, and every chance he gets, he lets me know how far she's come as a basketball player. I've heard many times about how this one went from not being able to run straight and dribble the ball to being this blossoming, this beautiful, amazing,
Double averaging.
young queen right now, killing it on and off the court. So, but Christina, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We are honored to have you.
Of course.
Of course, anytime.
The first thing I want to ask you about is just where you feel like your fire comes for the game, because clearly you have it.
Wow. So basically, my fire, it comes from the idea of not losing. Like, I hate losing. Even like from 8th grade, like when Tyrell even watched me play with my CYO and AAU team, even freshman year, when I lose, I take it to heart because I'm like, I could have played better. I could have done this. I could have done that. And on top of that, I've been in situations where like I can have a really good game and my teammates don't. And then we still end up losing. So I'm just like, nah, we have to pull through. Come on. Everybody, let's get it together. Like, okay, so you go here. Like, let's do it. Like, even though I'm not a point guard, I'm a center, a forward, I still feel like they need a boost too, because I know my point guards sometimes, like, they feel down because the coach is on them a lot more than they are on me. So I'm just like, okay, so we got this. Like, you're good. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and then let's get it together and let's pull through. So, like, my fire is just like, let's win. Let's get that glory, because I know when people win, that everybody's like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I want that too. So let's get it together.
First of all, the game's changing, so playing big isn't the same that as it used to be. There's a little more versatility in it, and you're an example of that. But kind of talk to me about what that's been like for you.
So my journey when I first started, it was rough. Just like you said, like, I couldn't run straight. Like, I'm always this, that, and the other. I couldn't catch a ball.
Goofy, little goofy G's. That's not
Yeah, like someone
Like, Terrell would throw me a ball because that was my first training. Terrell would throw me a ball. I'm like, so I'm just like, at first, because I started playing in 7th grade without any sort of training. So I just, like, this girl I used to play with, she saw me and she was like, you can be like our big on our team. Like, you can play this, that, and the other. Long story short, I didn't play one game the whole time. I probably had 4 minutes in total the whole season, from spring all the way to the fall. So then another friend of mine who is my current teammate, Kylie Favors, her dad was like, nah, because she was sitting on the bench too. So he was like, nah, we're going to make our own team, this, that, and the other. So he brought me and Kylie to Tyrell's, and that's where it all started. I tried to, with the whole, like, trying to be a guard. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be like KD. He's 7 foot. Apparently, they said that he's lied on his paper saying he's 6'10", when in reality he's 7 foot. He should be a whole big, but he's a whole guard, shooting threes, crossing people up. Like, every big forward wants to do that. So watching him and watching his style of play definitely impacted me too. So him, Brianna Stewart, and also Brittany Grinder too, because with the rebounds, the blocking shots, like, I take pride and joy. When I get a rebound, I'm like, yeah, this is mine.
All right, let's go.
I know. You halfway do the mellow joint. Like, hey man, hey, get over there, I got that joint.
Yeah, back up.
Or when I block a shot, I'm like, yeah. Even though there's no cameras in front of me. If there's no cameras in
you don't
front
need
of me.
no cameras now. You talk that talk. Trust me. I know.
Yeah. I did that. Smack it. Get that out of here. Access denied. So I think, so just those three combined, because even though, like, Brown and Stewart is doing that too, but it's more so like KD with the whole guard, because he's bringing the ball up and everything. But those three combined, yeah, that's where I try to reflect my game off of, especially during this time now, as I'm incorporating more shooting, practicing more shooting and more ball handling, then I try to like watch them, even though KD's not playing at all this season. But next season, I'll definitely be watching. Same thing with Brianna Steele. I'll definitely be watching her again next season.
What made you eventually choose Villanova?
It was just, I don't know, because I still don't know to this day, really, because at first when I went, I was like, I wasn't feeling the campus because I did go in 8th grade and I wasn't feeling it. And at the time, I had my heart set on UMich, like, because that was the first college ever to say they had interest in me because I went to a tournament in Georgia. So I was like, UMich. And then coming now, like with the rest of like the offers and doing visits, even though I didn't take an official visit or an unofficial visit to Villanova, I realized like that the coaching staff is great, and on top of that, like the campus is great itself too. And they also got a new gym, which I was really excited about because that was another thing. I didn't like the gym. There was no AC, and I don't do well in the heat at all, especially when it's humid and hot. That is a terrible combination. So they got a new gym with air conditioning. So I was like, this is so nice. For the first time I've seen it in 2 years. And then on top of that, I have a lot of friends going. Like
Really?
Zanai Jones, I play with her with the Sparks. Trey Patterson, that's
Right.
high school team. I know another guy. His name is Jordan Kanika, and he goes to Gill, and he's committed there for soccer. And so, like, even though like those three, I just know those three people. Oh, and Caitlin Orhill, who is on my AAU team, she's going there as well. Wow. So I know those 4 people, but like compared to other places, like, because I know a lot of people are going to school by themselves. It's like they don't have anybody with them. But the idea that, one, I'm close to Philly. I'm not in Philly, but I'm close to Philly. 2, the like inner city league. I know at least one person at every school that's on the girls team. So I just know that like the connections are endless, whether I want like go hang out with my friend at St. Joe's or hang out with my friend at LaSalle. It does not matter because I just know them. And on top of that, like just having my friends, people I know and I have a really great connection with, is just like amazing. And on top of that, I heard great things about Coach Denise Dillian and her coaching staff too, and her legacy. So I was just really excited. And then when I committed, it was just like the weight is off my back. So I'm just like finally free. I can focus on one school. And on top of that, Villanova is top 10 in business, and I want to do business when I am in college. So that was just the perfect pieces. Because my mom was not going to let me go to school just for basketball. She was like, nah. She's like, you're going to get that education, and then you're going to play some basketball. You're going to play some good basketball, and you're going to get good education. And at Villanova, that's what you get. And it's close. So if anything, I can come to the home games, and I can come to the away games like Seton Hall, St. John's, and even possibly UConn games too. Like if she's really like devoted to go all the way to UConn. But like just those games in general. And on top of that, like I said, the inner city league, whether it's at UPenn, LaSalle, she can just easily drive there. It's only like an hour 15, hour and 30 or so. The pieces just fit, and it spelled out Villanova for me. So
you see how she put the pieces together like that, Fish? Like she went from
that's it.
And it's just she literally put the pieces together, like the gym to the business to the look. This is to the locale. Like I got friends going. I got people over at St. Joe's. Like I already know. Let's get it. Tell Fish about your Team USA experience too, Christina.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, my Team USA, I didn't want to go originally because my coach, KG with the Sparks, he was like, Chris, like you should go, like really, for real. Like you should go and you should like show up because you actually have a chance. And I looked at my mom because he told my mom, and I was like, does he not realize that the best of the best is going to be here? Like I didn't consider myself the best of the best because this was sophomore year. Like I think this was December Yeah, December of sophomore year. And then like as I was training, and I was like, okay, I'm getting confidence. So I came to mom like, let's do this. With the trial itself, it was really good. It was hard. That's another thing. It's really hard because of the altitude, because the airport, right? It's on like a regular level, and then you're literally driving up to the place.
It's in
So then
Colorado?
yeah, Colorado Springs.
Right.
So then like
Okay.
it's up, and then my hotel, and then we have to keep going up. So we're literally on a mountain. And by the way, nobody told me that like people were like wearing masks like to train for the altitude and everything. Nobody told me. So I'm coming in, I have a major headache. I'm trying to have that happy spirit because they're like, let's go. Make sure you're climbing, let's go. I'm like, okay, let's go, guys. My head is throbbing. I thought it was about to explode. But we had 2 practices, like I think it was an hour or 2 each, and then we had a discussion session where we spoke to other Olympians. It was tough because it was nonstop. Like, of course, you had that like 10-minute time, but like it's like once you sit down, then it's like you're back up again. Because instead of having like regular quarters or regular halves, I think it was like 10-minute halves running clock. So then it was just like nonstop moving. And then on top of that, like all the spectators are watching, and then all the parents are watching, and everybody's writing down stuff. So it was like a lot. It was kind of overwhelming, especially since I've never been on that kind of platform where literally everybody is watching me, everybody's recording. Overall, it was a great experience. I did get a book bag. I bought a book bag. I use it as my school bag. I have the jersey, and I made a lot of memories, and I made a lot of friends. So it was definitely an experience that I would never trade up.
I was about to say the book bag better not be the highlight of the whole thing.
No, I was so excited to get it because the store, when I went the first day, it was closed, and I love sweatshirts. Like, as you can see, I'm wearing one right now. The goal was to get one, but I didn't. And I looked at the bag. I was like, this is a nice bag. Like, it's big. I can fit a lot of stuff. So I was like, yes, let's get the bag.
Let's get
So
the
me and my
bag.
Who is the toughest player you had to guard during that whole experience?
I would say Amari DeBerry. And even though she's my teammate, I don't know if she remembers this, but I went against her. Mind you, she's 6'5", and she's strong. And I'm a sophomore. I'm like 6 foot, and I'm skinny. I didn't start PT. I didn't do any of that. So I just went as myself. And then I had to guard her. And when she's in the post, she becomes like Goliath. Like literally, she's like, ah! And I say her because she literally hit me in the face. Like I was guarding her regular, and then she hit me in the face, and then she went up. I was like, oh my goodness. And then she just kept doing that, hitting me in the chest, the face. It was just a lot. But like it was definitely tough to guard her because the other girls, I didn't go against like the other bigs like Lauren Bates, who was 6'7", or any of the other girls who was 6'6". She was the only one I guarded because there was either someone else that was taller than me, or we just didn't have that matchup. But the other people, they were like me, but like swifter than me. Like Sailor Poffin, I don't want to butcher her last name, but she plays for Fairfax Stars, and she's committed to UConn. But I had to go against her. But she's like a sharpshooter, and like she's taller than me. I think she's like 6'3", shooting guard. So I play against more girls like her, more so than Amari. But it was a rough 20 minutes for me that day. So, but no complaints. She's really nice, by the way. So no hard feelings at all.
We want to ask you to give us your top 5 queens right now. This could be family members, teammates, actresses, athletes, anybody. Just your top 5 queens that are inspiring you right now.
Wow. You're only giving me 5. I can name like 30, but okay. First, first I would say my family, because they set the standard. My mom, with the whole like education, because I know she wants the best for me. So like, let's say like the basketball thing didn't go out well. Like I know I can have something to rely on. And to be honest, if it wasn't for her, I definitely probably wouldn't be at Villanova. I probably would have just went somewhere for the social scene and for the basketball, and it probably would have been the best for me. Even the little things, whether it's taking an extra math class, because she was telling me I should do that to prepare for freshman year, depending on what classes I take. So, and then like my sisters, they set the standard high, because my sister Sophia, the one that you saw, she went to Brown, and then my other sister Brianna, she went to UMD. So like those are high standards, and they have like well-paying jobs. So I want to follow in their lead. Michelle Obama, definitely, she's an inspiration all around. I just love how she just advocates for everybody. I would say Brianna Stewart, definitely, that was always my role model. Because just having 4 rings at UConn, winning MVP her first season, and she was an MVP candidate this year. And even though she didn't win, she came off of like a torn Achilles, I believe. And just being an MVP candidate after all that says a lot. Like you have to work really hard from an injury to being named something that high. On a platform like that, especially in the WNBA, when you're playing against the best of the best. My friends Mia and Kylie, I would say them too, because I have a whole bunch of friends who are always with me. Oh, and Kaylee too. So Kylie,
Christina,
Kaylee,
you naming a lot of queens now. Yeah, I know you said you had 30, but I gave you 5. I said 5, girl, 5.
I'm grouping them together. I'm telling you, I can't just name 5.
She's giving you 5 for every spot.
You think queen means you just allowed to just do whatever you want. So you just go. You talk about grouping together. They're different. Two different. Mia and Kylie are 2 separate queens. You can't queen them together.
But they're in the same category. I put them in categories.
All the family queens are in the family category. So you're putting all your friend queens into the friend queen category.
Yeah.
Lord, help us.
And that's just because, like,
they've been with me since the very beginning. They've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and they stuck by me. Okay. And I know that. And they just helped me so much, because with countless of training, introduced me to new trainers, introducing me to new like spots where for athletes, I should say, for basketball athletes and stuff. So definitely, like, they're just like a big part. Without them, I truly don't know where I would be, because they just helped me that much. And the last one, I don't think I have a last one. I think I named like 10, but those are the main people. So I would just say them, so we can make that 5.
Why do you think society needs basketball?
That's a good question. I think society needs basketball because even though there's football, another big sport, there's baseball, I feel like in women's, probably I would say, give the exception of soccer, women's soccer, I feel like with basketball, I feel like it's one of the only sports for women that's nationally broadcasted. Like, especially in this time, it's being broadcasted every week compared to seeing softball. You would have to have ESPN, W3, like you have to have these special channels to watch some female sports. So I feel like basketball is important because right now they're advocating for like Black Lives Matter. They're advocating for LGBTQ. Like, they are using their platform to raise awareness, and not every sport is doing that. And I'm not even talking about like guys sports, because I know that they're doing that. They have their shirts, they're doing all of that, and that's amazing. But like, I only seen soccer and basketball do that. So I know that basketball does play a major role because it is catching headlines. You'll see on like CNN, you'll see on Fox, you'll see on ABC that the WNBA left the court during the national anthem. The WNBA had like the 7 bullet holes, the 7 cuts in their shirt to represent the 7 shots. Like just things like that is saying a lot more than what other sports are doing. And I'm not taking away anything from the other sports. Like they're doing what they have to do, and it's unfortunate that they're not getting the same amount of like shine as like women's basketball and as soccer too. But it's just the way that society plays, and since now more than ever we're gaining the light, then they're using that for good. So I feel like, and we're definitely like pioneering, definitely making the way. So like nobody else should be scared to do it. If we're doing it, you should do it too. So I feel like that's why basketball is needed in society. Because even in men's basketball, they're doing a lot too. So it's just very important. And I think all sports are important too, because in people's free time, people are watching sports, whether it's football or whatever sport you're watching. So in that free time, if we're advocating, if we're raising awareness for something, breast cancer or cancer in general, whether it's like someone like that's not doing well, whatever it is, then we're going to be advocating for that. So bringing that to a lot of people's attention, then it's just an amazing thing. So without that, then who knows?
Christina, we are fans of you. We you know that you have our support. You know, we want to encourage you to continue what you're doing and how you're doing it. The energy that you bring to basketball and to people, I'm sure any one of your friends, anyone that's been around you can attest to that energy. It contributes to the light that we need more of. So you know, continue to do whatever you do that keeps you in that mind frame. I want to encourage you to meditate, do your stretching, do all the things that keep you where you need to be mentally. All right. I really appreciate you taking the time, for real. Thank you, sis. I really appreciate you.
Of course.
All right.
Anytime.